All right, so this is a video response to CondorDM, and not just that, but also some kind of an announcement for this channel, because I've been, one of the things that has been annoying me with this practice of vlogging about RPG for a long time now, for a couple of years now, is a twofold. It's kind of like it's a twofold thing. It's the idea of biases and the idea of biases when it comes to discussing this hobby, and it comes in twofold because it is the biases I hear from people when I'm listening to videos and blogs and all that. I'm telling you guys, you see, this is a tent right there. So I might have just woke up somebody. It's a true thing. There is a whole situation. So I'm gonna move away from there, and I'm gonna it's a real thing, man. It's a real thing. I'm gonna go in that direction. I hope I would not wake that person up. All right, so I'm not kidding. It's a RPG hobo. All right, so. So the biases, all right? So it's a twofold situation. I hear it from the people I'm listening to, the video, and I hear it from myself as I speak with you guys. So, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a normal thing. I think it's a natural thing. I think it is a phenomena that is very natural because of the nature of the topic. We talk in these videos, even when we talk about concepts and theory, we talk about taste. We talk about games and fun, which are really subjective terms and really subjective experiences. And so therefore, necessarily, it comes from a place of biases. It comes from a place of taste. So, I don't know if you guys are familiar. I don't want to bring like a too heavy theoretical or conceptual thing, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with the simple idea of thought framing, or just the idea of framing. It's like a transcendental idea where it's like the reason why you discuss something is already framed by some kind of value judgment you have onto it. So when you express an idea, even though it's a theoretical idea, the more objective, empirical idea, it still comes from a place where there was a value judgment that you have to make in order to express it in the first place, kind of thing. All right, framing. Anyway, so for me, it is already there. Right? The reason why we pick the phone and we engage into these discussions is because we either have some experiences that we did not like, and we want to share it to make it better. Value judgment. I did not like that, right? Or the opposite, and it comes all in between. So the opposite is like, hey, all right, so I have a really great experience and I want to talk about it, and this is a great game and I want you to play it, and it's biases and values and value judgment, that comes and frame the discussion, even if it's a theoretical one. Anyway, so that has been annoying me a little bit, not from other people, because I don't care. People share their taste and share their biases, and it's all good, fine and dandy. But I think that I want to be more me. It annoys me from me when I hear myself being too narrow-minded, so I want to kind of like answer a little bit of what Condor said to me in the comment section yesterday, because he kind of like said that, and he's right. He's like sometimes you speak about things in a very limited fashion, like a narrow-minded fashion, where you come from your perspective only. And I mean, it's not it's true. You just go down my videos from the last years or so. I mean, I've been very opinionated and very biased about the way I like things, and I was really criticizing the stuff that I did not like and everything. And it's all good. It's fine. There's no problem with that. But now, after a year and a half or so break of vlogging, I think I want to do something else, right? So this is my announcement, and then I'm going to do my response to Condor. So my announcement is that I think I'm going to start a new playlist, and what I want to do with it is basically I'm gonna call it like a two side of a penny or two side of a medal. I don't know. I'm gonna find a catchy short title for it, and I'm gonna start, not always, but sometimes I'm gonna discuss the topic from the two side of the equation. Like I'm gonna talk about, I'm gonna show both sides instead of just one side. I have, it's early in the morning, guys, and there's a hobo right there, but I missed the word that I want to use, but it's basically I'm gonna tackle two perspectives. I'm not just gonna come here and say, okay, system matters, bang, like this morning, there's a video uploading that's gonna talk about that, and it's like, okay, then yeah, system shapes play. Well, you see, that video I could have done, system shapes play, and then on the other side, not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily shapes play. So it would be like this kind of playlist where you have the same title with number 1, number 2 kind of thing, and it's kind of like, or just black and white, just to try at least to show and think that outside just my taste, or my views. And yeah, so that's my announcement. I've been thinking about that way before Condor mentioned it in the comment section. It is something that kind of kept me away a little bit for a while, because I was like, I'm tired of just coming here and trying to like preaching my gospel or something. Anyway, so that being said, CondorDM. So sorry for this really long announcement. So we had a discussion, he and I, yesterday, about prompt. So I've been on this channel a big fan of prompt, and here's the story, right? So I've been role playing. I'm a rookie, all right. So you have guys, that we are. I'm CondorDM has been like 30 years, since the early 90s, and Rule Slinger has been 40 years, like since the early 80s or something like that, right? So some of these guys in here have been doing it for a very long time. I've been doing it for like 10 years, all right? So I started in 2010, okay? So it's kind of like 11 years. And so therefore, my timeline is very short. So I had a few paradigm shifts throughout the years, and I think I am in the verge of another one, and so first I started with some traditional games. So I started with the Shadowrun and Pathfinder and World of Darkness and Traveler and stuff like that. And so I was doing, and if you remember in the past, my videos, I was frustrated. I was very frustrated, and all my vlogging came from a frustrated place. It came from like all the thing that I found that these games were not achieving. All right, so I was like, I think these games are lacking something in the design. I think it creates all kinds of bullshit situation in play that I don't like, you know. And you know me, I'm not gonna repeat myself. You know what I've talked in the past about that, right? And then I went to PAX East with Emergent Play, and I got completely blown away by the designers, the discussions there with the designers, and the different experience that of gaming that I've tried there. And basically what it did to me is that it allowed me to see outside of the more traditional, for the lack of a better word, the more traditional game. Now I was like trying all kinds of different games, very different games, you know. When you try stuff like Dogs in the Vineyard, or you try stuff like Mouse Guard, try stuff like Fiasco or stuff like that, you end up having different kind of experience, and you open your eyes to design, because the design is different. So I deleted my channel, came back with this new channel, and then it was all about indie games and game design and game theory, and since that moment, my idea was that, you know, you need to find a good game for you to have the experience you want, right? So there is a game for everything, different tastes, different designs that will do different things. But when you have such a vision or understanding of role-playing games, what it does to you, and this is where I think Condor doesn't think that way at all, is that when you have that vision, is that it means also that some games will not do specific stuff, right? So when you think that you need a certain prompt or a certain design mechanism or certain subsystem to achieve a certain experience, therefore, if a game doesn't have it, doesn't do it. But now allow me, Condor, don't panic, don't go crazy on me, but I think that you don't agree with that. I think you have been listening to your videos for the last, the whole weekend actually. You've been busy, so, and you repeat yourself a lot, and in the things that you repeat is your own biases, your own taste as well, like all of us. And you come from a very old school place, you come from a very GM centered place where, you know, if you are a good GM, you can do it all. All right, so basically that's how I get it. And so when I was talking about prompt, you said to me in the comment section, a good GM doesn't need prompt. You know, doesn't need the stuff that Pendragon has or the stuff that Burning Wheel has, because he can do it. He can get that out of his player or out of the player, right? And so I asked you, give me some example. And sorry about the way I wrote it. I created a misunderstanding. You thought I was like challenging you, you know, because you are very like passionate about things. You thought I was like challenging you to a live video. No, I was just asking you to do an audio. I should have wrote audio instead of video. But anyway, I just wanted to hear, give me some examples of the way you do it, you know. So, because like I said, for me, not right now, because I'm changing my mind, and this is where I want to go with this. But you know, it's been a couple of years since I went to PAX that I thought that if the game doesn't have a rule for it, if the game doesn't have a specific design to achieve certain stuff, it will not happen in play. Because if you just have like a generic structure like D&D or Pathfinder or Shadowrun, and there is no prompt for specific experiences and specific things, you cannot achieve it with the game. And you said in the video and in the comment section the opposite. You said if the GM is good enough, you can do it. You know, you don't need specific rules to do it. And that idea comes a lot in your videos, right? It was not the first time I hear it, and it made you know, it made me think. It challenged my thought, and I was like, okay, maybe. But the problem is I never tried it. So I'm answering your question now. I never tried it because I never had the time. You see, in my timeline, when I first started, I was just frustrated with the traditional games for the first couple of years. And I was there, I was like, something's missing, something's not working here. I don't know what it is, but it's just annoying as fuck. And then I went to PAX, and when I came back, never played these games again. Just played like indie games like Vincent Baker's and Burning Wheel and Luke Crane's game and Gyrosaurus, and I played these kind of games. And so now, and it's been a while that I've been thinking about this for a while. I bought myself some OSR to do that actually, but never managed to do it. But I want to go back to old school games, very basic old school games like I'm not gonna buy the old D&D because they're way too expensive and they're not in good shapes and stuff like that. But I'm thinking about stuff like old school essentials or sword and wizardry, like that retro clones, or some really basic OSR, or retro clones is a better word for what I'm trying to do. And I want to take it, not your challenge, but I want to take what you're saying. I want to try it. So basically what Condor said, so he made an audio for me to give me some examples. And he said, if you ask a lot to the players as a GM, you ask a lot of backstory and personality. And so now we're not talking about stuff written in the book. We're talking about, it's not on the character sheet, because this game doesn't do that by design. That I want to be clear on that, because it's just true. But he's talking about extra stuff. He's talking about just like together, as a group in the social contract, like, write a backstory as a player, write some personality trait, and then as the GM, don't be a lazy GM, be a fucking proactive GM, like challenging those personality things and traits, and challenging those background story, and make the game about that. And therefore, if you do that on a regular basis, consistent basis, you will not need prompt, or you will not need like a design mechanism or subsystems or all fancy things to achieve a certain roleplay, roleplay aesthetic, a certain genre, a certain tone, or a certain experience around the table. And he's a big believer, Condor, that you can do that with any games, as long as you're a good GM and you push the player to do it. Because the game doesn't provide you with anything. In the example he's talking about old school games. He's talking about maybe AD&D. He's been playing that for a long time. So stuff like that, right? Like games that doesn't have prompt, a game that has never been designed that way. But he believes that you can do it, right? You can do it nonetheless. Now, me, for the longest time, since PAX, I thought that was bullshit. I thought that was very big ass fucking smelly cunt bullshit. Sorry for the the bad words here. Because I was I was in that mode of thinking, but I want to try. So I'm gonna try. So what I'm gonna do, Condor, is I'm gonna get back at you, but I don't know when exactly. First, I'm gonna ask you, in the ritual clone kind of games, do you have any suggestions? I have my eyes on sword and wizardry, and I have my eyes on old school essentials. Those look amazing, and they are retro clone that mimic old school Dungeons and Dragons. So going to the roots, nothing fancy. Otherwise, I have I have some old school TSR games. I have Boot Hill, I have stuff like that, but I want to try maybe something new. And now give me time, because I'm gonna have to buy the books. I'm gonna have to read the books. I'm gonna have to find a group and I have to actually do it. So I don't know how long it's gonna take me. It might gonna take me a year, maybe more. We have good memories, so I'm pretty sure you'll remember. I will let you know when I'm gonna receive the product, and then when I'm gonna start reading, and then when I'm gonna start doing the thing. I might gonna even ask you a few tips about how you do it, just to go a little bit deeper into the details, and then I'm gonna try to apply it. I'm gonna actually try to apply it, and if it changed my mind, I'm gonna make another video about this, and I'm gonna show that there's maybe a new paradigm shift in the way I think, because I'm an open-minded person, because I've been thinking about doing it for a while, but it was not clear exactly how and when and why. But listening to your videos and the conversation that we had recently, and the topic that has been around in the RPG Technique Consortium, and my own experience that I had with Burning Wheel, because my burnout with Burning Wheel is a prompt burnout. It's because the prompt in Burning Wheel actually became procedural, became like a procedure, and therefore it created, but if you've listened to the video, but it created that weird experience where it's always the same, and I have to do it that way, because otherwise and so I want to check it out. All right, I want to check it out, because here's the thing. I think it's doable. I think it demands a lot of work, though, way more work than if there is prompt designed for that in the game. But I believe it can work. It can be done, definitely, and I want to try. Now, that's one thing I believe. And I'm gonna and from that place, I will give it a shot. So thanks again for your video. The passion in your audio was so good. Like the energy, like the way you expressed it, I was like, Jesus Christ, I gotta try that. So yeah, I'm gonna do it. So thanks again, and I'll let you know how it goes. Send me a couple ideas of games maybe I could get my hands on. Anybody listening to this, good Ritual Clone, Old School Essential, Sword and Wizardry style games, couple games in a list, a couple of those that I can try. I need prompt-less game. I need old school design, no subsystem for nothing, just a basic system that you go from it, and therefore I cannot rely on those, because I've been really relying on a lot of those kind of design mechanism to achieve that kind of so what I'm talking about here is a very character driven, role play heavy experience that prompt make it easier to achieve, so yeah, that's what I'm talking about here. So yeah, all right, so thank you for watching, and it's a long video, but I think everything in this is relevant and makes sense together. So yeah, I'll let you guys know what's happening with this experiment. All right, talk to you soon.